meet the judges. I'm Wanda Atkins, president of the French Panorama, and today we have Akua Leith from MIPCO. Welcome, welcome. How are you today?
I'm excellent. Glad to be here and looking forward to this conversation.
Yes, we are too, because I don't know much about you here. In France, it's new for us to actually meet the person who makes pans. So can you tell us a little bit about your journey, who you are? How did this all start with MIPCO?
Yeah, I'm actually a professional musician. Firstly, I did my first stint in the secondary school I attended. So I started playing piano at a pretty young age. And then I went into doing the competition, typical school competitions, panorama and all that. From school panorama, I went into the community space. I started playing Tokyo Steel Orchestra. And then I went on to Massey Trinidad All Stars. And from All Stars is when I started to find myself interested in arranging. So the other part of my life was me more or less following arrangers. So I played for a lot of bands on that quest. For medium, small, large, single pan, just trying to get a sense of what arrangers did. After that, I did do my degree. I did my degree at University of the West Indies, but I started off that journey at Trinity All Generation School of the Arts, which was a after school / community type organization, which helped persons who couldn't afford music to get certified. So I did my certification in Royal Schools of Music there, and then that afforded me the access or the entrance into UE. So I did my certificate in music at UE and then my bachelor's degree. After that, or while that was unfolding, I should say, I started performing with the National Steel Symphony Orchestra as a musician too. So I did 7 or 8 years of that. I started arranging, composing, playing still. So I got fully engulfed into the steel pan zombie, as we will call it, and got my juices flowing as a professional in those areas. And in 2013, I decided to do my master's. And in 2014, under Fulbright scholarship, I went to NIU, Northern Illinois University, under Professor Liam Teague and Dr. Cliff Alexis, and I did my master's in steel pan performance. But I actually focused on conducting. So I did my master's in conducting with a concentration on steel pan performance. And in 2016, when I returned home, I actually directed the National Steel Symphony Orchestra for 7 years. So I came back in as the director, conductor, took them through a journey over those 7 years. And in that space is when the idea of MIPCO came about. But I missed an important point. In 2005, I actually worked at Panland for 5 years as a steel pan manufacturer. So I made pans and did that whole stint there, but it wasn't something that married with me. So from Panland, I actually went on to do my degree. So 2018, the vision of MIPCO came, and it's not just a vision of MIPCO, but a vision of a steel pan ecosystem that supports our growing industry, not just locally in Trinidad, but internationally, where I thought the 8 pillars necessary was a state-of-the-art manufacturing facility, a place where persons can grow, so our institute. We must have a marketing opportunity via an orchestra or orchestras. We must have what I call a museum to see where the instrument came from to where it is, touch and feel, even if it's virtual, but we must have something that maps out that journey. And then a Hall of Fame, who was responsible for that journey. So we must be able to celebrate our icons. We have local icons, now we are developing French icons. So all these stories have to be told through some type of Hall of Fame. We need a money, so research, development and scholarship fund. We need a festival, so I love Panorama, as you can see. But I think we need a place where we bring bands together to showcase what they do with the instrument. Maybe due to the Trinidad culture or their own cultures. Let's see how the instrument has impacted the world. And the final thing was a performance space. You write a passage. We always talk about Mecca for the Muslim faith, and we're right now into the month of Ramadan. But where everybody traveled to Mecca to feel a sense of, hey, I'm finally a Muslim. So that type of rite of passage for steel pan should be this space that everyone wants to perform in Trinidad and Tobago. Right now, that is Panorama. And if you haven't played in a Trinidad Panorama, sometimes you think like you are missing out. But a performance space that rivals all performance spaces, and they have the best experience and the best sound of the instruments. So that's the journey. And as you said, someone who makes pan, I don't literally make the pan right now. I'm actually the managing director of Midco marketing, and I do sales, I do the whole daily operations, but I'm not actually a practitioner in the field. That's for Mario, who's my other director at Midco.
Okay, because I had the opportunity to come and visit your factory last year. This great visit. It was fabulous. It was wonderful because I learned a lot during that visit actually, and the way it was set up, it was so professional and really inviting and welcoming at the same time. So if anybody, and make sure you go and visit because it's really worth the trip. And so now you're part of so many different types of projects that are going on all over the world. I saw that you were in other projects, also being judges for different events like that. And so this is another reason why I reached out to you to ask if you could take part in this. What have you heard already about the French Panorama? I'm not really sure yet.
I did get exposed to this actually two years ago, I think within COVID, when I saw Duval Stewart was actually on the panel, and we were talking quite closely. I tell me more about this, and I really didn't know anything at that time. He said, yes, there's a lot of things going on, and they're doing it online, and they send their videos. So I think I listened on to a few of the artists back then. So I traveled to France. I think it was 2023 or 2024. I did actually come to France, and not where the Panorama, not close to where you were, but I thought I would have been able to run into someone who plays, but it was for a Music City type seminar. And I said, that is where it came back to my mind. Hey, if there's a Panorama in France, I should really try to come back and do a fact finding on that. And then you came to Trinidad. So it was like, hey, look the person who's responsible, but I definitely need to speak to Wanda and understand what's happening there. So I too had an interest from since then, just to know more about it. Not necessarily to be a judge, but just to understand what's happening and how is it going and how can I be involved in any nature. So this is, I think, is a nice entry towards what you all are doing.
Yes,
across there.
But of course, we feel it's an honor to have so many different types of people that are in the field and really who have history in it. And as you explained all your history and education and everything, it's important also to have that point of view moving forward, because it's something else, putting this all together and getting people.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. Yeah.
And so we're just at the beginning of this whole journey. We're really at the beginning of this whole journey of learning what to do. And I think that's also great that I could ask you guys for advice on what would be your advice, for creating this type of event.
I think personally, the fact that you had a desire to bring that culture to France and through an experience and under the umbrella of Panorama, that is definitely to feel proud of. I mean, it's not an easy task. Firstly, you're talking about France, which is not a small space, it's a huge space, and to have all these bands practice. And the online element, I think, is what really got me, hey, that makes sense. You don't have to find a location. You literally could have persons take their time and do a proper recording. So that's an element there. So now they have something that is archived, and they could take multiple shots of that within the time frame that you give them to get the best representation of themselves. So that's unique. And then beyond that is the growth. How it's growing. I mean, you shared with us how it's growing, and you're seeing a little more interest and that sort of thing. You could manage your cost and so forth. The advice will be still, at some point in the journey of the Panorama, is to have a physical showcase and how can you make it be monetized? So where you can pay bills and you can offer prize money. I'm not sure if there's a prize money, to be honest, and other incentives for persons to partake and get some type of corporate involvement and so forth. So I'm seeing the possibilities where you could grow your online presence and give this a package where you could then showcase it for other support systems and sponsorship to come in.
Yeah. So it's true that it's a very different system to what other people know in different countries. So that alone, to go across that bridge, it's going to take some time. But you know, it's going to be in the works. It's going to be in the works.
That's it. Yeah. Well done.
Might take some time, but it's definitely in the works because we have a lot of interest now. So.
Correct.
But so this is all about you today. I'm going to ask you embarrassing questions. No. Okay, I wanted to try something because I know you don't have that much time because you're a really busy person.
No, I'm good. I'm good with time.
Okay. Yeah. It's going to sound strange. I'm going to ask this. If you had 3 wishes for Pan, what would that be?
Wow. Firstly, I wish that we have 100 builders and tuners at a very high quality to sustain the current industry. So that, to be honest, is something that scares me because I know the amount of persons who exist in that part of the industry is few to none. And we really need some sort of miracle to get those numbers up as fast as we can. So that definitely will be a wish. The second wish will be for us to have a global mind, a global thinking pot of the potentials of this instrument, not just the competition, but the instrument and the people behind the instrument. And where can this instrument do? What can it do? Or where can it be within the next 3 to 5 years? That global mind of thinkers bringing up a mindset of growth and development and sustainability and all these things that is needed to really take us to the next level as an industry, as a fraternity. I really wish we had that place for us all to put our minds together to project the future. And the final one will be planning schools around the world, planning communities around the world. That's a wish of mine. Midco plans servicing all different parts of the continent, working together with existing tuners and builders and bringing this harmony of, the best of this instrument, you know. So planning schools, planning communities, not just as a social impact tool, but also for educational tool to help expand how creative life is to students who may not even want to be a professional musician, but just want to have that part of their brain stimulated. I think steel pan is the instrument to do that. So that would have been my third wish coming out of your question.
Ooh, third wish. Wow. The third wish, it's very inspiring. It's very inspiring. That's for sure. But I'm quite sure this is what's starting to happen now, I think.
Yes.
There have been a lot of people who are doing different things from Japan, the United States, South Africa, even doing studies in South Africa about pan. It's already it's in the future. It could really be something extraordinary.
Correct.
And now it's just bridging the gaps between the countries and communicating more. And I think getting everybody to, well, we all have different ways of doing things. And that shows the diversity and also how original this instrument is.
Yes.
You can touch so many cultures and people are like, whoa, what's that sound? And they look and they,
yes.
Definitely. Well, I wanted to thank you again for this interview. Really, really, it's been a pleasure. It's really been a pleasure. And soon you'll be listening to the songs for number 4. And I'm glad you're part of number 4. And you're going to give us your your opinion on that. And we're happy to have all the observations, all your help with this and everything. And hopefully when I come back to Trinidad, I'll come and see you again.
Yes, and we have a nice dinner at the end, and I could make sure is expanded. So that's another goal. And just to let you know, I really appreciated the diverse judging panel. You have someone from Japan, and you have someone from the States, and you have us from Trinidad, and that for sure. I know that you are looking at the multiple different opinions that will bring the best feedback to your space. So I'm proud of you for that, and I'm looking forward to doing my part towards the judging.
Well, thank you very much for that. That's a really big compliment.
Excellent.
All right. Well, with that, we're going to finish for today. But thanks again. And for everyone listening, I hope you get to watch the Panorama that will be on April 26th at 8 p.m. GMT 1. But don't worry, we'll put up a sign so you can find out which country you're in so you can watch it. Thank you very much.
Let's go.
And let's go. Yeah. All right, everyone.
I wave it left or right like the Winston Bailey. And everybody know, hands up.